Welcome, everybody. I am very pleased and happy today to welcome the person who has been one of the few who have made last year and this year spectacular. She has become a close friend very quickly, and I have learned so much from her, and I'm sure some of you have already and some of you will today. Welcome, Milena. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you for calling me to this great opportunity with you in this talk. I'm really happy and I'm very excited. And I hope I will not make so many grammar mistakes.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, and also I'm very happy that you are doing this. It's really great. So I will start with my introduction. And so my name is Milena. I am 28 years old and I'm currently living in Novi Sad. I'm a psychologist by profession. And a few years back, I started my own practice in career counseling. And I made a program called Professional Disorientation. It's a program for people who are not secure about their where their true passion is and what are their talents. And generally, they are not sure what they want to be when they grow up. Let's say it like that. But easily said, it's for all the people who are struggling in finding their purpose, talent, and career path.
I have to say that I went to one of Milena's workshops. It was live, not online, but it was spectacular. I enjoyed it and I would recommend it to everybody once this is done, or you can work with her, but we will talk about that a bit later. As you everybody here probably already knows, the topic of today's webinar is going to be confidence and assertiveness, and we're going to learn more about that with Milena. So my first question about that, Milena, is can you tell us and clear this mystery for us? Is confidence something that we are born with, or is it something we build?
Well, there is for sure a certain amount of confidence that we are born with. I mean, we get a certain kind of legacy and self-confidence from our parents, and also there are role models. So, I mean, that's the starting point. Also, as we go through life, we have certain challenges, situations, and all of us, we have different experiences, and in that way, we build our self-confidence. So yes, definitely, self-confidence can be built. So there are also that sometimes you see these people and you think that they are born with this like good amount of confidence, but actually I think there is more than meets the eye. Yes, definitely we can build confidence. It's an attribute that everyone wants to have, and it's a tool to get to know ourselves better. And some people think that once you got your confidence, like you have it and that's it, you're done for the rest of your life. But actually that's not true, because you can feel confident in one activity or one particle in life, but not in another one. So, I mean, it's not a straight line. It just goes up and down all the time. Sometimes it varies. Our self-confidence can vary from hour to hour, from month to month. So we can feel confident in one thing and be scared in another, and it's completely fine. But important thing is that we can build our self-confidence. It's not just there like some beautiful vase for flowers. We should definitely work on it.
Yes, and I can testify to that. That our confidence definitely can be built, but also can be destroyed, either by ourselves or by other people.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, I have had both situations happen to me, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so how do we work? Since, of course, we can't affect whether or not or how much confidence we are born with, but we can work on how to build it. So how do we work on our confidence?
Well, people, I get a lot of these questions, like where to start and how to build self-confidence. And sometimes people are just disappointed, when I tell them that there is no magic pill, there is not some spell that you can chant that will get an instant result. And we as a humankind, we are not very patient, and we really like results like now. So we really, if we want to work on our confidence, we need to get to know ourselves better, but like really get to know us, what we like, what we don't like, how our experiences shape us into becoming the person that we are today, what are our talents, what are our hopes and dreams. Also, like this beautiful term that I don't like so much, it's called the comfort zone. I know you know what I'm talking about. But really, you have to go out of your comfort zone, and there is nothing that helps better than experience, even one step at a time. Sometimes it's enough, like if you have a proper people that can lift you up. For example, like you and me, we have like amazing understanding and amazing support from each other. And I would probably never be here if there wasn't for you, because in one moment I also felt so bad, and I couldn't build up my self-confidence because I needed this good amount of support from other people. And I also wanted to add on your experience. I also had like self-confidence in high school. It was like the size of beans, in elementary school and also in my high school. But as I started moving from Novi Sad and then going abroad, studying, doing volunteering work, my confidence started growing. So I think it's really important that we experience different things in life, and that is the best way to um, build and work on confidence. I mean, sometimes it takes years, but I think it's really fundamental that you have good base, and that you build something on a good base.
Yes, that is definitely true. And good support, I would say. For me, for example,
Yeah.
support was very often much more important. I had a great base, I have to say that. My parents were building my confidence since I was a kid. And it was like, if somebody hates you, it's because you're so beautiful and you're so smart. Which I think is great for a kid, by the way, especially a kid who has, problems in school with other kids and so on. But support, not just from my parents, but later on in life, from some people, even some people I would never expect to support me. And I think being in a situation where you need support, and seeing people gather around you and just push you and lift you up is really an amazing experience. And I think but it doesn't have to be 20 or 50 people. Sometimes,
Yeah.
and very often, one person is enough.
Yeah.
For me, last year, definitely, of course, Jovana Miljanovic, we cannot not mention her. Milena, Anna Markov, who is also here today. Thank you, Anna, for being here. And some other great women from our community have been a tremendous influence and help outside of my regular support, like family, my husband, and so on. So I think having that definitely helps a lot. But another thing that has helped me was, of course, when you don't have that many friends at school, you read a lot. So for me, books have been very helpful, and changing my way of thinking when I was younger really helped, which is why I would like to hear from you about this. Can you recommend books, podcasts, movies, blogs, or anything else that you love about this topic that you can share with us, and we can read it or watch it or listen to it as well?
There is so many books. I mean, really so many books that I can recommend. But let's say the best one for me in really finding out what are your strengths is the artist's way. And a second one is really like a small book, but it's amazing. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? Also, there are many TED Talks. I don't know if I'm sure you are watching them. I mean, there's so many of them, inspiring, amazing talks. I like also to listen Mel Robbins and Derek Stevens. But also, while I was thinking about our today's conversation, I actually realized that I built my self confidence through travel blogs or books about travel. You know, because that's what motivates me, seeing what other people are doing. Some really, really great and incredible people. And for me, that was really something that gave me hope that I can do some amazing things. And when we make us even with the hero of the story, a lot of magical things definitely can happen. I mean, but it's really important to know that not amount of books or podcasts or anything shall help us if we are not practicing what we preach. So we really, really need to do all this stuff, not just read and not just listen, but doing things actually is the best thing when it
Yes.
comes to this. But
Yes.
also, yeah.
Yes, I had a rant some time ago about this. It was on a different topic. It was about learning a language, English in my case, and I recorded an IGTV. I woke up one morning and I was like, I have to tell people it's not enough to read. And reading is not going to teach you English, nor is watching TV shows, nor is listening to music in English. What is going to help you is using what you have learned, and it is so important, and I'm so glad that you mentioned this, and I will keep repeating this probably forever, because people somehow think that and I have had this as well, you read something and you're like, wow, this is so great, now that I've read this, now I'm so smart and everything's just gonna fall into place. But it's not like that. It's much more about using what you've learned than it is about reading a lot of books. And I've heard, I think, every person that I like say this, such as Anna Markov, for example. You don't learn tennis by watching Djokovic. Exactly. And you don't learn you don't learn how to build your confidence by reading Milena's sad stories with happy endings on her Instagram story, which is, by the way, one of my favorites on your Instagram, and I would recommend it to everybody. So you need to use what you have read, otherwise nothing's gonna happen. So implementing is the key, not just reading or listening, because I've heard so many great podcasts, I've spoken to so many great women, but only when I started doing what they told me I should do did things start shifting. So yes, absolutely.
Also, when it comes to like, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, when it comes to working on yourself, there is this term, okay, I'm working on myself. Okay, what are you doing? Well, I read this book and that book and that book, and I went to that seminar and that seminar. Okay, did you implement any of that in your life?
Well,
no. Well, exactly. So really, we need to implement. That was the word that I was searching in my head. So yes, definitely implement everything. Sometimes you don't have to read, I mean, a lot, or you can just watch one video and take that one video and implement things from that and start from there. It's really simple. It's simple, but it's hard.
It's hard, yes. It's much harder than just watching it and then going to bed and waking up and continuing the same routine that you've been doing for the past few years. Absolutely. So it's simple and it's hard. That's the best way to put it, I think.
Not very helpful, but
yeah, but well, I think people understand what you mean. Yes, and this is so important to stress, and thank you for saying it out loud. Now, in our last webinar, we discussed, can we be confident in English, or in any language without being rude. And this especially goes for, working environment where if you say no, people can get offended. So we were actually learning how we can be confident without being rude. And we talked about assertive communication, different strategies and techniques, and so on. But I want to hear from a psychologist. Can we be confident at work without being rude?
Absolutely. Of course. I mean, being confident without being rude is kind of one of the definitions of assertiveness. So yes, we just have to care enough to work on our assertiveness, so we are not rude. I mean, kind of let's say arrogant. So yeah, working on our on understanding ourselves help us in seeing other people's needs and lead us to empathy. I can think of a few examples. For example, okay. Sometimes we are really overwhelmed with work, and instead of telling to our friend or coworker, we can say like, okay, can you see that I am overwhelmed? I am not doing this for you. We can say, okay, I'm really overwhelmed, and I'm sorry, but I can't do this now. So I mean, assertiveness sometimes it sounds like politeness, but it's not. It's more than that. It's really telling your side of the story and kind of being confident. But maybe we will talk more about this later. Also, it's really nice when you are in a working environment to give people a choice instead of end of discussion. You can say, okay, I would like to consider some options and then decide. I can also write you some of these examples so you have after this conversation. I mean, so you
Yes.
can see.
Yes, you can type them in the chat box if you want for everybody to see
Okay. Yeah.
these examples. I think they will be very helpful for everybody, and I can refer back to our previous webinar and repeat some of the phrases and statements and strategies that we have learned. For example, we talked about uh, the strategy called fogging, which is maybe my favorite from that webinar. And what it basically means is we acknowledge when somebody's, for example, criticizing us, we acknowledge something that we agree with, but we just ignore the rest. For example, we can say, I agree with how you feel about this, but I think blah 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 blah. Or
yeah, you are not attacking the person.
yes,
You
exactly.
are telling about the behavior.
Yes, you're just expressing your own opinion about something while respecting theirs. Although I do have to say, I have had situations in life when people didn't agree to disagree. And it was very stressful for me because I was insisting on agreeing to disagree, and that's fine. But that's something completely, that's a different story for maybe some other webinar. And one other strategy that we talked about was thanks but. Like people invite you to do something, for example, and while you are happy or honored that they did, you just don't feel like it, which is perfectly fine and human. And then you can say, thanks, but I'm not interested, or thanks, but I can't make that a priority right now. And I have to say, the first time somebody told me this, I was kind of, I'm not your priority. How am I not your priority, um, but it's totally, when I sat down and thought about it, it's normal that I'm not everybody's or anybody's priority. So I think it goes, you have to know how to respond to assertive communication, and you need to know how to do it yourself. So the next thing that I wanted to discuss with you is I heard, and we hear this a lot, like somebody is, well, we don't say maybe too confident, we say somebody's arrogant or somebody is pushy or something like that. And sometimes we also use the phrase that somebody is too confident. For me, that kind of doesn't make sense, but can you tell me, can we be too confident about something?
Yeah, but I think it's a mix of terms. I think that it's not to confidence that is just arrogant or egoistic. Let's say it like that, or pushy, as you mentioned. Definitely. I mean, being confident is also like knowing your limits and your boundaries, and knowing what you can say in a respectful manner to someone other than yourself. So I think it's just an arrogance. I
Yes,
don't know.
so there is a big difference
Yeah.
between being confident and being arrogant, pushy, rude, and also between being all of that and being assertive. So I think we
Mhm.
all together, our society needs to learn the difference before
Yeah.
accusing someone of being too confident.
Yeah.
Um, I was thinking about something else as well, and this is probably most important for entrepreneurs or people in decision-making positions. What is the impact actually of self-confidence on our decision-making? Does it rely on each other? Can we make good decisions without self-confidence and so on?
Well, let's put it that way. Unfortunately, most of the women that I worked with, when I asked them, okay, tell me something about yourself, some of your strengths, virtues, or I don't know, something that you are good at, they were telling me, can I start from the bad things? So, yes, confidence and decision making are really, really related. Because for most of us, we see the bad things first and don't acknowledge the good ones because of our low self confidence, or we are not sure what exactly we know, or are we good at this, or are we allowed to show that we are good at something, or it will be recognized as bragging. You know, that it's really such different.
Mhm.
So when it comes to decision making, if we, for example, have to ask our boss about promotion or salary, or we want to quit, or we want to be entrepreneurs, um, our low confidence will really have us there in hand, and we will stay in one place. We will not be able to see bigger picture because we are constantly doubting in ourselves, in what we know and what we want and where we want to be. So as I said, we don't have the clear picture, and that is why it's really important to have this good amount of confidence,
Mhm.
so we are not clouded by our judgment of ourselves.
Yes, as you told me very nicely, we cannot see the big picture because we are in a small frame. And I really liked this reference. It was
Yeah,
so strong. And it's like we are limiting ourselves, literally.
yeah,
So remember that, guys. We won't see the bigger picture, just the small frame that we are in. Okay, so back to assertive communication, which is very important for anybody who has a job or is an entrepreneur. How can we practice? For me, it was very difficult at first, and I'm still sometimes
mhm,
struggling with it. I think probably most people struggle with it.
yeah.
So, how do we practice assertive communication?
Well, we can definitely practice it. It is not always easy because we are not always patient, and sometimes we react from anger or from sadness or from a bad day. But it's really important to be aware of our reactions, and somehow to start this prevention process. Also, um, um, we have to watch, like there is also this kind of other kinds of communication styles. So passive aggressive, and assertive. So definitely the one I hate the most is passive aggressive. Like
I
I
think we
can
all
handle
hate it.
passive, handle
Yes.
aggressive, but passive aggressive, it's nothing. So you know
Yes.
it's something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can try doing some assertiveness tests, and or some short examples, reading some material, or can ask the people around you what they think about your communication style. Well, it depends who. Also, working on your empathy, it's really important. but also knowing your boundaries. And in most of the time when we think we are not assertive enough, we are maybe too polite. So we don't want to go forward and say what is really on our mind. It's just about the tone that we are speaking and the language. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. We need to practice it, but once we see the pattern, it becomes easier, and it becomes easier to practice.
Okay, so if you have any links for us or anything like that, you can leave them either in the chat box, or you can just send it to me and I will include it in the recording and in the blog post so that everybody can test their communication and learn how to act assertively. Also, everything that we learned in the previous previous webinar is on a blog post on my website, so you can read the strategies that we have learned today, approved by Milena, by the way. Okay, so tell me, is there a difference, and if there is, what is the difference between just being confident and being assertive?
So confidence is kind of our attribute or skill, and assertiveness is a communication style, basically. Assertiveness means standing up for your personal rights, expressing thoughts, feelings, beliefs in an appropriate and honest way. And assertiveness cannot exist without confidence, and can only exist in a situation where there is communication, because it is all about communication. But the key is to remember that you can be confident without being assertive, but you can't be assertive without being confident. So you need to work on yourself in order to be assertive, because if you are not confident enough, it's really hard to express what you really want to say. I mean, I don't know if I made it clear.
Yes, I think so. Basically, what you said is we can be confident without being, well, that makes sense. I can be confident but not know how to communicate with other people in an assertive way. But if I'm not confident, I cannot communicate assertively, because assertiveness requires confidence, right?
Yeah, let's say yes. Like a level.
A level, yes, a level of confidence, of course. So can we measure how much confidence we need to be assertive, or how do we?
I'm not sure. I mean, you have to really have at least some, I don't know, like from 1 to 10, 6.5, let's say, confidence to be assertive.
Thank you for the scale. It's excellent. Yes. I think it's even for just like you said, even though I didn't have many confidence issues, I have been confident most of my life, thanks to, again, great parents and all of that, and great friends. But I did have to learn how to be assertive, especially in situations where, you know, it's not where it's not comfortable to be assertive, where it's much easier to accept something you don't like than it is to say, no, I don't want to do this. Thanks, but I don't want to do this. So yes, I think we need to practice confidence to be assertive, and first practice confidence, then practice assertiveness.
Exactly. Yeah. Like
It's a lot. It seems like a lot
of work.
Yes, but I think, as Jovana said in our first interview, she said, investing in myself was my best investment. And I felt that. It really is true, I think. Okay. You said that maybe you're going to prepare some exercises for us. Do you have something?
Yeah, of course. Well, I prepared some for confidence because I think it's really important, like the starting point. You know, there is really good exercise where you write all of your previous successes. Is that the right success?
Yeah,
all your
successes.
Yeah, small or big ones. Like from the day that you can remember, like from when you were a kid. You start writing in your notebook what exactly you do. For me, it was really funny. Like for some time, I was helping people doing their CVs, And I was talking with my friend, and I asked her, okay, she also wanted to study English, and she needed some resume for some job, and I asked, okay, do you have some experience? And she said no. And I asked, okay, but what is with the classes that you taught these kids from our friend? Oh, but that's not important. How it's not important? It is important. So really, when it comes to these small successes and small victories, we need to be aware everything we did good, because in that way we can build our confidence. Also, one of the best exercises for me for self-confidence is to, like, I'm always explaining this exercise. It's like a small wall of the bricks, you know. You have the wall, and in that wall you have small bricks, and all of these bricks are one nice thought that you have about yourself, or about your self-confidence. Depends from which angle do you want to go. So basically, you are starting from the base, and then you are going up. So you are trying to see how many things you can remember and who exactly are you through this exercise. I mean, it's kind of weird to explain, but when you make your wall and you start writing, it's really nice.
Wow.
And also for confidence, I mean, for anything in life, journaling, I would say, really. I mean, I'm writing journal from since I was in fifth grade, and I really love journaling. And I mean, it's not just because it's good, like, to have um, like a gateway to your thoughts, but also because you can laugh about the things you did in the past.
Yes, yes, I think that is maybe the biggest thing. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding, of course. But it can be funny. And thank you
yeah,
for all of these exercises. I think they are pretty amazing. And it's like going, uh, I loved that metaphor that says when you can't go outside, go inside. And
yeah,
that's exactly what we can do right now, especially during the weekends, is nobody's going out this weekend.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Anna says also journaling allows
Yeah.
for more honesty, and that is also true. I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's hard for us to be honest to ourselves, even harder than being honest to other people.
Yeah.
That is a good thought. Thank you, Anna. So tell us, in the end, how can we work with you right now?
Right now, there is like this online course that I have that it's one-on-one, and I wrote an ebook about how to find yourself. I have also workshops that are live, but not for now. Like when the situation passes, hopefully. So there is individual course, one-on-one, and there is an ebook if you would like to find out what you want to be when you are a grown-up, or if you are not yet, if you don't consider yourself a grown-up but you want to be, so you can contact me, and we will find a career path that is right for you.
Okay, so who should take the ebook and who should take the online one-on-one course?
One-on-one is very intensive. Like there is a lot of questions, like
Going
basically
inside.
exercises, going a lot of going inside, and there is like my support. But if you feel confident enough, let's
Mhm.
say, if you are already working on yourself for quite some time, then you should take the ebook because it will help you. It will guide you through the process.
It's
But
like a
if you
roadmap.
are yeah, exactly. And this is a roadmap, and this is a road trip with me. Let's say like
Uh-huh.
that.
Okay. Okay, very I like this as well. So if you're ready to go on a road on your own, you can try Milena's ebook. And if you want to go on a trip with her, which I would highly recommend because she's freaking amazing, then you can try the
Thank you.
online consultations one-on-one with her. And I agree with Anna, the ebook is awesome. I loved it as well.
Thank you. It's my
Uh,
baby. You know?
I know. I've been there while you were writing it.
Yeah.
um, so, thank you, Milena. This has been a wonderful conversation. If anybody has a question, feel free to write in the chat box. We have like 3 minutes left in this webinar. But If not, you can also email me or message Milena or any other way of communication. We are here for you guys right now, so feel free and don't hesitate to contact us, either one of us. Thank you so much. I think this conversation was really useful and enlightening and helpful for me, and I hope for everybody else here, because I think, especially now that we have all of this time and we are stuck in our houses, is the right time to do something like this, to get disoriented and then find your right way, to go on a road trip with yourself or with Milena or whatever it is that you choose, but to work on ourselves and to be ready when this is over. We know exactly what it is that we should start doing, or maybe we have already started doing that during this crisis. So it's been wonderful, and thank you everybody who has been here today. I hope you enjoyed it. The next webinar will be on Tuesday at 6 p.m. and on Friday, next Friday, we have another great guest, but I won't say anything yet. Well, that is basically it for today. I will see you on Tuesday. Once again, thank you, Milena. And
thank you very much for inviting me. It was really beautiful to talk with you, especially in this topic. And thanks to everyone who came to listen us live.
Yes, I think it's great and also an excellent practice of English. Your English was perfect. So thank you for that. Milena says thank you for the great exercises, and Goran thanks you as well. So enjoy your weekend, guys, and I will
Don't
see
eat
you.
too much.
Don't eat. Oh, yeah, don't tell me that. I'm already eating too much. So I will see you all on Tuesday, I hope. And in the meantime, I will send everybody the link for the podcast, the YouTube video, and the blog post with Milena's answers to these questions. Thanks once again, and see you next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.